Well, it's just such a pleasure this morning to talk to you. This is Sharon Rees-Stone from Mount Waverley Heights Primary School in Melbourne. And thank you so much for making some time to speak to me this morning, Sharon. So Sharon is the principal of the school, who brings just an absolute passion for the well-being of her students and the holistic education of your students through obviously academically educating them, but introducing them to the importance of being caring, beautiful little humans, and helping them to grow up in a way that, you know, they're really preparing them for a very connected, caring world. So it's lovely to be here, and I know that you have recently started with the 6 Seconds program in your school. So I'm just curious to find out for a bit more from you, Sharon, about your journey to date and perhaps the school's journey to date.
It's been probably a pretty long journey. It hasn't just started in the last year or so. Probably over the last 10 years I've had a real passion in terms of building kids' social emotional intelligence and building their ability to be resilient lifelong learners. But I guess it's evolved too over time, because it's not just about that resilience aspect now. It's about making really good connections with people. And I think, you know, we all know people who have a high IQ and are academically successful, but they may not be successful in their life in that whole big picture view. And I think it's really important, especially in today's time when there are so many challenges, that we're actually making those really good connections with people, really strong connections, but having empathy and understanding for others. And I guess you know, that journey has been a long process, from working with universities on first initial surveys and things that have happened in Australia here, and building a wellbeing program that encompasses all those elements. And then to our school, where I'm at now, it's, I think, going to that next level. So we had a lot of great practices across the school when I came, but it was recognising that we needed a consistent practice, and we also needed the same language, and we needed the same vision and direction. So all of those elements needing to come together. And so we've started with school-wide positive behaviours in what we notice within classrooms, of having a beautiful tone within a classroom, good relationships, settled. And we've really worked hard in terms of what our school values actually look like, rather than having lots of values, having 5 or 6 when we started. We just brought it back to 3: be responsible, be respectful, and be inclusive. And then we talked about building our wellbeing program around that, so developing lessons which help students understand what that actually looks like. And our next journey is taking on the 6 Second model and having a look at, well, deeper. I think a very much not just behavioural changes we want to see, but we want to actually see that emotional side and the social situation. So kids being really resilient, empathetic people.
That's fantastic, Sharon. And I noticed that, you know, one of your philosophies is connecting students to their emotions and their feelings, and one of the 6 Seconds competencies being emotional literacy, and, you know, as a founding and a building block of EI. And I was just curious to know how that plays out in you every day at school, connecting to emotions, you know, because we know from the programs we run in schools that it involves everybody, doesn't it? From the principal to the teachers to the parents to the administrators, everybody being involved in speaking the language of feelings.
And I think that's where, in my previous school setting, perhaps we didn't really start with ourselves. So here, with taking on the 6 Second model, we're really looking at it from a leadership perspective first, to have a really good deep understanding of ourselves and how we interact and engage with others, and then moving down to the students, well, the rest of the staff, and then the students as well.
So it's sort of infusing right through the school.
Yes.
So exciting. So you've just started the journey with your leadership team.
Yes,
Sharon. What's been your experience so far?
It's actually been quite enlightening. For someone who I thought I had quite a lot of competencies, sometimes I think, you know, when you take that step of really evaluating and understanding where you're at, you also recognise the patterns of behaviour that perhaps that you fall back into. And I think this has been a great experience for everybody on the leadership team to be able to reflect on themselves and how well they know themselves, how well that they can pick up on those emotions in others. And I think all of the leadership team who have been on that journey have actually walked away feeling, I think, really grateful for the time that they've spent with our coach, but also being able to pull apart really what our underlying emotions and feelings are to the way that we engage with others. And then there was kind of no surprises really. I think we all had a fairly good understanding, but now that we've unpacked it, it's actually now, well, what are you going to do with it? And how is that going to make a difference and make changes in the way that we approach things? And people have walked away with that, I think, a bit of a buzz to be able to do something different and to be able to take that journey, that next step.
It's exciting, isn't it? So
it is.
Energises and motivates for the changes that you're making over coming months and actually years.
Yeah,
because your
absolutely.
program will go for a couple of years.
Well,
my understanding.
I can see that it will be once we actually sort of drill down the many layers from the staff next, and then the students and the parent body as well. I don't see it as a quick fix. I see it as a long-term practices. So we're really talking about cultural change.
Yes, over a period of time. And you know, it's exciting for me because in some of the more corporate work that we do at UBalancer, we see such volatility, and you know, leadership programs are just all about helping people to think a bit differently and then act decisively, and it all starts with understanding emotional intelligence. So your young little humans are very lucky. They'll be going into the world really equipped and have all the agility and the thinking they're going to need. It's so exciting. So in the long term, Sharon, where do you see this program going?
In the long term, I see it as being part of our everyday practice.
Yeah.
So that we're consciously making decisions, not just with our head, but with our heart. And not just for us, but our students are also making good decisions and choices as well. So being part of everything that we do, from the relationships, from the interactions that we make, but also ensuring that our curriculum is really well grounded in teaching those skills and strategies.
So it's a lovely blend of thinking and feeling in decision making going forward.
Yes.
And that head-heart connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today, and I wish you an amazing program. I know it will be, but I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.